Again, we have taken a reading this morning that says quite clearly to us that certain persons, in this case the Pharisees, came up to Jesus to ask him a question just to test him. It says Pharisees came up to Jesus and tested him by asking this question: is it lawful to divorce one's wife for any cause? Why were they testing him? Probably they thought that Jesus would make the law on divorce lighter for them, or that they will hear more about how easier it could be for the man to divorce his wife. Because already they knew that they had provisions in the law, for instance in the book of Deuteronomy, that they could actually divorce their wives. But the condition under which they could divorce their wives were what were in contest. So they wanted to ask Jesus under what pretext. So probably we're expecting Jesus to multiply for them the contest, the situation, conditions under which one could expel his wife or divorce his wife. So would have so much, they were just testing Jesus. That's just the truth of the matter. But I'm sure they were really surprised to hear that Jesus gave them something that was even stricter than what they had thought, because in Jesus' teaching there is no room for divorce. In fact, Jesus referred to God's original intention and plan. Twice he referred to in the beginning, and he referred to Genesis, which means he was taking them back. He refused to accept the level at which the people were making their interpretations, at the level from which they were trying to ask him questions. He was taking them back to the beginning to see the origin and intention of marriage. In fact, from that, through Jesus' words and from the book of Genesis, right from the beginning and this teaching, the church develops her teaching, on unity and indissolubility of marriage that we have in the church today. That, the church does not allow a divorce, because from the beginning that's not how God made it. Jesus referred to it from the beginning twice. He said, have you not read that he who made them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife? Unity. They are united. They are united in that case. A man shall be joined to his wife. A man shall leave his father and be joined to his wife. Therefore, they are no longer two, but one. Then he says, what therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Indissolubility cannot dissolve what God has united, what God has joined. And then they went ahead to ask him again, then why did Moses command one to give a certificate of divorce and put her away? He said to them again, it is for hardness of heart that Moses allowed a divorce. From the beginning, it was not so. Again, from the beginning. So he made reference to the original situation, original intention, original plan of marriage and for marriage. That a man, once married to his wife, both of them become one and no longer two. And so what God has united, no man should divide. So that is where the church teaches her principle of unity and indissolubility. It is true that when two people come together, they will have differences. That is how it naturally should be, because these are two different personalities coming to live together, each with his or her problem. They have come with everything about them. Even if you have been together, you've known each other for some time, there is no way you are going to know everything about the other person. In fact, some person refer to the personalities, the human beings, the man and the woman, as mysteries themselves. The man himself is a mystery. Every human being is a mystery. The woman herself is a mystery. Every human being is a mystery. When they both come together, they constitute a greater mystery. And so they have to continue to understand themselves. They have to be open to one another. That's what makes marriage work. every couple, they must be open to one another. No one should come with a plan, set ideas and goals. Because when you come in, you could meet a personality that's really different from what you think. If the person did not deceive you, but is living a natural life, unless there are certain things hidden that the man knows that he hides or the woman knows that he hides. But if you come in sincerity and go into marriage, with God's divine assistance, the marriage will be successful. But everyone who comes into marriage must understand that he's coming to meet a personality that is different from him or from her, and to be ready to accept. Secondly, in our world of today, this kind of teaching is very, very important, because a good number of marriages do not work anymore. People go into marriages and there are very common words. It's over. It's over. Between two of us, it's over. They are often said too quickly by couples, and you see, it becomes very difficult to reconcile them. The teaching of the church and of Jesus today that we see in the reading must again be re-echoed in the ears of couples intending to marry or those who are already married. In fact, at wedding ceremonies, this text that we have today, the very first part of the gospel reading, is usually taken. Very many couples love it. They love to take them and they read them and reflect with them at weddings. But only God knows why some of those marriages do not work. We need to continue to listen to the voice of Jesus today. To remember that from the beginning, this is how God has planned man's life to be. If a man decides to marry, or a woman decides to marry, that when they go into it, it is different from a contract. Marriage is a covenant. A contract is usually witnessed by men, only men. You come and sign. If one of the parties that go into a contract does not fulfill the requirement, then they can disengage. But with God it's different. That's why it is called a covenant. You cannot disengage on flimsy pretexts. You can't disengage. That is why marriage is sacred. It's called a sacred institution. It's different from contract. Contract is just by men. No one being come and just sign contract and disagree. One can say, I'm no longer signing, I'm leaving, and this party is not fulfilling. But when it comes to marriage, it's not a contract. It is a covenant. So we must understand this before we go into it.